My name is Josh Amstutz, and I'm a high school math teacher in Cincinnati, Ohio. Today, I'm going to talk to you about how to take advantage of opportunities presented to you to promote leadership and growth within the field of education. Let me just start by saying that I understand this is the time of year that is so difficult for teachers. I myself have 5 children of my own, and it is almost impossible to think about the schedules of organizing dinners in the evening time while getting kids off to practice, while taking advantage of the leadership roles that I currently have within my district, in addition to actually planning and implementing these plans for the classes that I teach. So at this point of the year, I know for many people, it is so difficult to be able to think about anything other than survival. It's that time of the year when classroom management is really at the most paramount place, where you want to make sure that you get your kids in line so that you're good to go by the end of the first quarter. And I know that there are just so many things that just keep piling and piling and piling. So many times, the last thing that people think about is how to promote leadership and growth within the classroom. Well, I'm here today to talk to you about some strategies and solutions that, quite honest, I want to share countrywide. Things that have been so just beneficial in helping me to be able to organize my thoughts and organize my efficiency level in the school while still promoting that idea of leadership in the classroom. So after the podcast today, I will be sharing some resources out for you. One of them is super great because it is a compilation of opportunities for teachers that I have met on many different fellowships and conferences over the past 5 years. There are opportunities for ELA teachers, for math teachers, for science teachers, opportunities for elementary teachers, for librarians, for media specialists, opportunities for everybody. And the great thing is that all of these opportunities are free to teachers. They are supported by either government agencies or other agencies or nonprofits that have a vested interest in just improving education. The second tool that I hope to be able to share with you is a strategy to be able to use artificial intelligence to your advantage. And I know that right now there are many different people with many different feelings about artificial intelligence. Some people are the early adopters, some people use it but aren't really necessarily sure how to use it. And there's other people who say, hey, I'm gonna stay away from this, I'm not ready for it, and that's completely fine. So let me start first with a story that just happened this year on how I've been able to promote leadership and growth using some of these tools. So this past summer, I had the amazing opportunity to be able to study for 2 weeks in Germany through something called the Transatlantic Outreach Program. Now, this program has two different sections to it. One of the pieces of the program is for STEM teachers, and me being a math teacher, that was my tract. And the other program was for history teachers. But the cool thing about this program is that the itinerary for this program and fellowship is centered around, first, American culture understanding German culture and what it means to be a part of contemporary Germany, but also how can we learn from what Germany is doing and implement those strategies and items into the American education system. So for 2 weeks, I got a chance to travel around to multiple different cities: Bremen, Germany, Braunschweig, Germany, Berlin, Germany, meeting with professors, meeting with teachers, meeting with community members and business partners, learning about the education system. And I cannot think of any one other fellowship that did more for me in my educational career than this fellowship did this past summer. From visiting wind turbines and being able to incorporate the stats and data around it into my math classes, to being able to go to UREF, which is a campus with innovative think tanks trying to reimagine what energy looks like in the world. The opportunities that were presented to me via this fellowship were unbelievable. So much so that I had notebooks full of information that I did not know what to do with them. And I think all of us can kind of relate to these kind of situations too, where you have these experiences, whether planned or not, where the ideas are flowing. I mean, maybe sometimes for you, it might be in the car ride from one place to another on vacation. Maybe you just have some think time to yourself. Maybe you're on a walk or you're on a run and these ideas come into your head. And I am one who, when I have the ideas, I like to keep it in mind. I like to write them down. And then what happens is I lose track of them, or I forget to look back at those notes. I forget to look back at that notebook because of the time of year I'm in. I'm always saying, hey, it's going to be next week. It's going to be next month. I'll finally get to it, and I never do. So with that being said, I felt very scared after this fellowship that I was going to lose all that amazing content. And so I thought to myself, well, what can I do to be able to not only just help myself, but help all of my colleagues, all of my friends that I teach with, be able to take this information and learn from it and help them to be able to incorporate it into their classrooms as well as me in my classroom. So what I decided to do was use some knowledge that I have around artificial intelligence to be able to create my own chatbot in just a free AI space like Gemini. And so what I did is I said, okay, well, I'm going to follow these 4 rules to prompting AI to hopefully set up a chatbot for myself so that not only can I input all the information immediately now that I have time right before the school year starts, but I can also hopefully use it as a continuing conversation where everything that I learn about these concepts in the context of my own classroom, I can actually add into the chat. And then I thought to myself, well, hopefully I can actually be able to use this then, not only to create projects for myself and give myself ideas, but be able to share them out to the rest of the staff members at my high school. So what I ended up doing is I sat down and I said, okay, well, what's the first piece in prompting? Well, that first piece is explaining who you are. So in my prompt, and I will share all of this via the podcast as well, but in my prompt, I said, all right, I'm a high school math teacher. I happen to run something called the Academy of Global Studies. I have this experience in Germany called the Transatlantic Outreach Program, and I really want to create a chatbot to be able to house all this information. So that first piece of using AI is truly setting up the stage. Who are you as a person, and what is your purpose for creating the AI chatbot or for the prompt? The next piece then it goes into the what. Like what information are you going to be giving the AI chatbot? The interesting thing about AI in education is that you can use it to be able to help you to your advantage and be able to get information from online resources that normally would take a really long time to search if you're just using something like a Google search bar. So I said, okay, listen, I have all this information that I have from Germany, and I would like this to be a continuing conversation where the AI chatbot learns everything that I'm putting in, but also has the ability to search all of the interwebs on all this other information that might connect to the information I input. So in my what section, I put in that. I put in all my experiences that I had in Germany for 2 weeks. I went through all my notebooks and I typed them into this chatbot. The next piece, though, is after you define who you are and the what, you need to define what it is you're looking for. So what I decided to do was tell the chatbot, and I said, listen, my goals here are actually very simple. I want to be able to have this as a resource so that I can remember what I was so excited about. And I also want to be able to connect that to things that I and my friends are doing in the classroom. So please, 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 can you, chatbot, give me some ideas using all the information I input from my experience as a basis? And then the last piece is your target audience. Like, who is the AI chatbot writing for? So I said, okay, AI chatbot, I want you to write this in a way that's going to make sense to teachers. That's going to use, teacher pedagogy. That's going to incorporate different types of strategies in the classroom, but also something that's going to be interesting and readable for not just me as the creator of the chatbot, but for other teachers, so I can get them excited about these opportunities and hopefully encourage them to be able to take advantage of some fellowships themselves. So I create this AI chatbot. I put in all my information, and I cannot tell you how amazing it has been from the start of the year, which for me was mid-August, to now mid-September. I am able to prompt this chatbot now with ideas that I have in my classroom, and it can then create projects for me and story problems, applications, and activities based upon these experiences in Germany. So finally, I have found a way to take all of those ideas that I have had in my mind and be able to put them in a place that is usable, that can help me be a better teacher, and more importantly, saves me so much time. So I hope everyone listening can kind of realize the impact that this kind of model can have on education. So now I actually have chatbots for everything. I created a chatbot for that. I created a chatbot for mindfulness activities in the classroom, created a chatbot for conference ideas to be able to present at different conferences. And how can I share out the good news to everybody else and help them in their classrooms? And it has saved me literally hours of time on a weekly basis simply because it houses all the information. So I'm here today to talk to you about this new innovative technology and how it can help you to be able to innovate, to be able to lead, and to be able to be that go-to person in your district. All it takes is a person with an idea, a person with an experience. And if you are that person listening, you're like, listen, I feel like I have a lot of good ideas, or I feel like I am a leader, but I just don't know what next steps to take. I encourage you, I implore you, start with putting things down. In improvement science, one of the best ways to be able to improve a system is by making the data visible. So all of those notebooks that you have, all those ideas that have been sifting around in your head, put them in a chatbot, put them onto an AI system so it can orchestrate and construct ideas for you based upon all of the information that is input. And not only that, but actively seek out opportunities to grow as an educator. The reason why I am still just as passionate now in education as I was in year one is simply because I have not stopped trying to progress. Every year, I am looking for the next thing to do, or the next thing to improve, or the next thing to follow. And some people who might be in the same year of education as myself might have that same kind of passion. Others, like my older brother, might be a little bit later in the education career where they have maybe about 10 years left and they just need something new to be able to innovate and to make them passionate even more so than they already are about education. And I will be honest with you, the fellowships and opportunities for teachers that exist are unparalleled. Never did I think that I could travel to multiple different countries and get it paid for as a teacher to be able to benefit my students and my community. So, closing out the podcast today, here's kind of the point of everything. I'm going to be sharing with you a Padlet. And on this Padlet are 40 to 50 opportunities for teachers, for educators to learn, to grow, and to lead. But it's not enough to just do the fellowships. You have to be able to take what you learn and be able to implement it and impact your own system and your own community. So I highly suggest that you also use the second resource that I'm going to provide, which is how do you prompt AI? How do you create an AI chatbot? And the great thing is that I've tried this own process with teachers in my own building, and it makes sense. It doesn't have to be hard. This is not like you learning a computer programming language. Simply, people don't know what they don't know. And I feel like this process of creating these chatbots is so basic and easy that once you do it, you almost get addicted to it in a positive way because it makes your life so much easier. It helps you to grow as a leader and helps you to grow as an educator. So, in closing, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for what you do. I know that this time of the year is a struggle, and these skills and these opportunities are what get me through that struggle points of the year. And I highly suggest and highly encourage you to check out the resources. And please know that my contact information is going to be shared out from this podcast. I am happy to help anyone who is in need. Anybody who wants to learn more, who wants to grow, who maybe wants to find some opportunities based upon a small conversation, hit me up. That would be amazing. I appreciate you. Thank you for what you do. Keep on educating, keep on innovating.
Thanks for spending part of your day with us on New Teacher Talk. Stay in the loop by following @New Teacher Talk on Instagram and Blue Sky. That's where we share our Tuesday teacher resource and Thursday thoughts. If today's chat was helpful, hit the follow and share it with your teaching squad. No matter what classroom you're in, we're here for you.